we'll see HR here, we'll see Lantam here. All of us will be here. So if you want to come and see Lantam Papanko, the man that you've been watching on TV,
no. You have to come and see Mutala.
You have to come here. When you come here, you see Lantam.
There's nothing to see about me.
Oh, what do you think? What do you think? Look at your white, the white that you are wearing.
I'm invisible.
It's one thing that people will come and learn so much. You are invisible.
Yeah, I'm invisible.
Are you an ass?
The Vanishing Man.
you vanish very.
You know there was a program on TV called The Vanishing Man.
Tell me more about it.
Oh, there was this guy. I don't know, something happened to him. I think he went through some sort of machine or something. And anytime water touches his body,
he vanishes.
He becomes invisible. Yeah, anytime water touches his body, he becomes invisible.
That's the magic man.
Yeah, so I mean, when he wants to vanish, he just puts water on his body,
and that's the end of him. You can't find him.
He becomes, invisible.
Those days when you walk through
things behind the scenes.
Those days when you
the Vanishing Man.
When you walk through town, you see people performing magic, people putting a whole lot of things on, people swallowing bottles, broken bottles, and you wonder what at all are they doing? What kind of world are they living in? Have you seen those people?
I've seen those people.
They were all magic men and
women. People will be using knives to cut their skin.
But still, there's no blood coming out.
There's no blood coming out. There's no mark or there's no bruise or there's no scar or anything like that.
The world has a lot
There's no physical cuts with blood.
The world has a lot of things in it. The world has a lot of things in it.
So
10 years.
I'm the Vanishing Man.
Yeah, the Vanishing Man. Yes, but of course, at this particular point in time, today you cannot vanish.
No, I'll vanish.
Whoever is here will physically see
vanish.
Lantam Papanko.
Yeah, but let's get into court today. So I think arguably the biggest talking points as far as all the legalese are concerned is that the Office of the Attorney General has filed an appeal at the Supreme Court to reverse the judgment of the Court of Appeal that acquitted and discharged Majority Leader Dr. Kessler Atuforsen and businessman Richard Jakpa in the ambulance procurement case. What's up with that?
Yes, clearly. So on the 30th of July, the Court of Appeal, a 3-member panel, spoke through the majority 2-1, and the majority view was that Dr. Kessler Atuforsen and Richard Jakpa be acquitted and discharged, and they subsequently acquitted and discharged them because they were of the view that after the conclusion of prosecution's case at the High Court and the court assessing the evidence on its face value, there was no prima facie evidence that warrants that the court order Dr. Kessler Atuforsen and Richard Jakpa to open their defense. They challenged that at the Court of Appeal, and on the 30th of July, just a day before the court, the judiciary retired to celebrate the 2 years, 2-month legal vacation.
Yeah.
The Court of Appeal held that the two should be freed and subsequently freed them, which means that the trial, which was then ongoing at the High Court, is truncated. Before Justice Efiasewa Saribuchi, there's no one. Then immediately that day, if you remember, the Attorney General, Godfrey Yeboah-Damieh, issued a statement and was clear that the Office of the Attorney General is going to appeal against that decision. Rightly so, 9 days after, July have 31 days. The decision came on the 30th. Today is the 9th. It was filed yesterday at 2:25 p.m. So 8/8/24. That was when the Attorney General filed the appeal at the Supreme Court. And let me just walk you through some of the things that the Attorney General, Godfrey Yeboah-Damieh, and his office, in fact, this very appeal was filed by the Director of Public Prosecution, Mrs. Yvonne Atakra Obuobisa, on behalf of the Attorney General's office.
Right.
And they are making some very interesting. But let me tell you which part of the judgment of the Court of Appeal that the Attorney General is challenging. What they are challenging is the majority decision. And what was the majority decision? The majority decision was that the High Court erred in calling upon to open for them to open their defense. And consequently, majority carries the vote. The decision was that they be acquitted and discharged. They say that the Attorney General is saying that they have issues with that decision that Dr. Kessler Atuforsen and Richard Jakpa be acquitted and discharged. So that is the part of the judgment that they are appealing at the Supreme Court. But what is the grounds that the Attorney General is indicating by way of appealing against this very decision of the Court of Appeal? What he says was that the majority on the Court of Appeal misdirected itself in the application of fundamental principles regarding the standard of proof required in determining that a case has been made. So this is the ground that the Attorney General is basing his appeal at the Supreme Court with. But he's also been talking about the particulars of the mixed direction that he's talking about at the Court of Appeal, the majority misdirected itself to do. But what are some of the things that it's been saying? Let me just talk to you about two of them. It said what? The majority decision failed to give due regard to the fact that whether a prima facie case has been made by the prosecution is the true standard required in assessing whether prosecution has made a case for the accused persons to answer or not. Then it went on also to say that the majority decision failed to give due consideration to the case of the prosecution as required by law in determining that whether a case has been made for the accused persons to answer. So these are some of the things that the Attorney General has been stating by way of the notice of appeal that they filed yesterday. But in all of this, what is the Attorney General asking the Supreme Court to do?
What relief?
Yes, the relief that is being sought. In fact, two of them. Mm-hmm. The first one states that the decision and the consequential order of the Court of Appeal. What is the consequential order? The consequential order of the Court of Appeal was that Dr. Kasila Atufosin and Richard Jakpa are acquitted and discharged. They say that they are challenging, they want the Supreme Court to reverse that decision. And effectively, the trial before Justice Ifiasewa Saribokwe should continue or should resume. Yeah. So these are the things that the Attorney General is asking the Supreme Court to do. One, quash or set aside the decision of the Court of Appeal, that's the majority 2-1, and then order that the trial, which has been truncated at the High Court, presided over by Justice Ifiasewa Saribokwe, who was presiding over the case as an additional High Court judge, continue. But in all of this, we are in legal vacation, right? Yeah. So somebody will ask, why is the judiciary on a legal vacation, but still cases are being filed?
It can happen, can it not?
The registry is opened. Mm-hmm. It's not closed. So within the time frame, you can file whatever case you want to file.
Just that the court will not see.
Absolutely, the court will not see. So the earliest that the Supreme Court can call this very case is in October, when they are back from the legal vacation. In fact, before the beginning of this legal year, which just ended in July, the Chief Justice indicated clearly that there's no law that is bounded for the Superior Court. And when I say the Superior Court, I mean the High Court, the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court. But interestingly, at the High Court, there are some vacation courts that are sitting. And most of their sitting is by mode of virtual court sitting. So you sit in the comfort of your house, you log into the Judicial Service website, mm-hmm. and you join the whatever court that you want to. If you have a case, then you look for your court, and then you join, and whatever case that you are following is being dealt with. Those courts are not bound, especially the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, are not bound to resume sitting during the course of the vacation. So if you file any case and you expect that within August, September, the Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court should sit on those cases, you lie bad.
Yeah, because you're on legal vacation.
It won't happen. They are on vacation. And once they are on vacation, that will be observed.
Unless you have a case at the district or circuit court.
Absolutely. So the district courts
are sitting.
The circuit court are sitting.
Yeah, and even the High Court, the Supreme Court, and the Court of Appeal are not sitting.
The circuit court and the district court, even that.
Yeah.
Go there right now and you notice that it is skeletal courts.
The legal vacation is affecting
virtually everything. Yesterday I was at the Dansoman circuit court,
right,
and the court was not sitting.
Right.
Yeah, you come to the Accra, the Supreme Court area, mm-hmm. few of the court are sitting. Mm. So you could see the vacation mood.
Yeah, but there are vacation courts, right?
There are vacation courts,
specialized vacation courts, even at the High Court.
Yeah, so those courts that I said earlier,
some special cases.
You are not supposed to be in court in person. Mm-hmm. It's virtual. So you just log into the Judicial Service website, right, and then you see virtual court. Click on it, and once you enter there, you see the active court. The vacation court are there. They've lined them up, and once you have the app on your phone, you can just walk into any of those courts that are sitting and then participate in whatever is happening. You can have, so some of the proceedings that you just have to sit down and log into the system and you are on. You hear everything. Parties are not required to come to court in person.
Right.
It is only the courts and the staff who are there. The lawyers and then the parties will join virtually wherever they are. It's only few of them that the parties will be present in court in situations like that. So that is what is happening in relation to that. So yes, the Attorney General clearly indicated that it is justified with the decision of the Court of Appeal, and therefore they are subjecting that to the test of the Supreme Court. And so this case, when it's resumed, when it's called, the Court of Appeal, there were 3 judges.
Yes.
From the High Court, it's a 1 judge.
Yes.
Court of Appeal, 3. And the decision was 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you go to the Supreme Court, it will be 5.
5.
You get it? So 5. Now, 5 wise men, I must put it that
5
way, are going to
or
subject
7.
5. 7 always will do with constitutional matters.
Constitutional matters.
Yes, when it has to do with constitutional
I think
matters.
the highest is 9.
Yes. So when it has to do with constitutional matters, 7. And when you go on appeal, it is 9. A review is 9. So this one, it will be 5. And when somebody is not satisfied and want to appeal, you go on a review, and it will be increased to 7.
Yeah.
After the 7, that's the end. Whatever
Unless
you
it's a
can,
constitutional matter, which is
yes,
7
constitutional
and then
matter.
9.
The ordinary court or the first court will be the case. The panel that will sit on it will be 7, and when they are subjecting that to a review, then it will be increased to 9. So that is how it will work. So 5-member panel of the Supreme Court will have the opportunity to look at this appeal that has been lodged by the Attorney General, but it will only happen after the legal vacation.
All right. So yesterday you were on the beach.
Yes. I was at the beach.
You were by a bonfire on the beach. But this was no ordinary bonfire on the beach. You know, beaches and bonfires, people, go to the beach in the evening, they do parties and then there's a bonfire.
Go and enjoy at the beach.
So you were at the beach yesterday?
Yes, I was at the beach.
By a bonfire?
I was at the beach, not to enjoy, but to work.
But this bonfire was a high bonfire.
It was a visit that I wanted you around. I wanted you around. I wanted Musa Lansa around. I wanted Emmanuel Wipo around. Ibrahim Alasan. I wanted all the guys around because I didn't want to be there alone. I wanted all of you to be there.
So we are told that over 242 sacks of weed,
marijuana, cannabis,
Ntampe, Obonsam Tower, blunt.
Is that how they call it?
Kush.
Obonsam Tower.
Obonsam Tower. You don't know weed is called Obonsam Tower. It has many names.
I see.
Because it's a very, according to the Rastafarians, it's a very special herb. So because according to the Rastafarians, it's a very special herb, it's got special names.
I see.
Marijuana.
So yes, weed,
ganja.
You can give it all the names that
Ntampe.
You want to talk about.
Obonsam Tower.
So I'm sure that was why.
Kush.
Yeah, Kush.
And
what else?
Blunt.
And what else? Today you are giving me all the terms, all the jargons about.
But no matter how you view the herb, it is illegal. It is illegal.
Well, you are seen with one.
Arrested, if you are seen with in possession of any variation,
it's a crime.
Of this herb, it is a crime.
Yes,
is it a misdemeanor? It's a misdemeanor.
Yes, a misdemeanor.
Possession is a misdemeanor, and trafficking it or peddling it or selling it is a felony, right?
Yes. So yesterday.
Yeah, it's an illegal substance.
Yes, yesterday.
So yesterday, what happened with the 242 sacks?
Yes, 242 sacks. And for those who watch on TV, and for those who had an opportunity to also watch on our social media pages, you will see clearly what we're talking about here. In fact, yesterday when you see people were saying, "Wow, this is money." This is money, huge sum of money.
It is illegal substance, contraband, illegal substance.
So the effect of these substances that were destroyed yesterday were stemmed from court judgment. Persons were arrested. People were arrested with quantums of these marijuanas. In fact, there were portions of cocaine in there.
Was cocaine in there as well?
In there.
Wow.
All of them were brought to the beach to be destroyed. And these are things that were assembled between 2020 and 2024, and we were told that 242 sacks. In fact, that particular consignment were taken from one person, a group of people, in one case. Then you have other consignments, including the cocaine and other stuff.
The 242 sacks were from just one case.
Yes, and all these things were. You know how interesting they were. They were packaged overseas. They do some of these things overseas. And so you will not have the opportunity to, when you see somebody trying to do his or her business and is trying to pack some of these things and transport it to some other. But if you are with the critical examination, you realize that these are marijuana. So upon orders of the court, and these are persons who have been arraigned, charged, and then found guilty and convicted and subsequently sentenced.
Right.
So on those items that were seized from them by the court, from those illegal activities, the court ordered that they be destroyed. And one of the modes that the police and the courts and then the NACOP official deemed fit to have these substances destroyed is to subject it to burning. So yesterday, in fact, if you see the police truck that brought the substances, Jerry was there with me. 3 of them. It went 3 times.
3 times to
bring
the sacks of
yes,
weed
3 times.
and cocaine.
And we were waiting. First consignment came, a lot of them. Second, then they went and came back with the third one. I said, wow.
All these sacks. All of them are going to be destroyed.
Eventually, they started pouring fuel
on it.
So it's about to go. It's about to go down.
What is the effect of the burning of these substances on the on the people who are in the atmosphere, or people who are around at the time? Because people smoke the weed. Right?
I remember.
So if you are smoking it
during newsroom, I was filing my report, and the whole place was windy, so it was very, very difficult to even have to hear me talk.
No, but I'm saying that. So
and you people were making the point that I was high.
If weed is burning and the smoke and the fumes are going out, were you not high? Are you sure you were not high?
So fortunately for us, the direction of the wind saved the situation for some of us.
So what if the direction of the wind was coming?
And that one, it would have been a different matter altogether. I'm sure some of us couldn't have, because before going there,
I'm sure some of the people in the neighborhood were high.
We had armed ourselves with nose masks, because that was the first thing that we have. We wouldn't have done anything. But we were fortunate that the direction of the wind took matters to people would not even know, and we will be in that community to find out about how they felt about. In fact,
because the people in the community, if 200 and how many? 242 sacks of weed,
and that was just a fraction of it.
And yes, there were more, and all of that,
Absolutely.
and all of that is being burned.
Yes.
And you know that the people smoke the weed.
Yes. So yesterday we didn't have official from EPA.
The people in the whole area, they will be high.
If you see the comments,
we need to go and check on the people in the area.
How they are feeling.
What area was that?
Oh, Osu. You know, for those who are very familiar, behind the Independence Square. That place used to be a place where people do go and have fun. Now it is no more. So because the place is under.
This morning we need to be checking on all the people in Osu, the Independence Square and its environs. So, good morning to all of you.
All those in Osu.
Are you okay? Or yesterday, were you high?
The Osu Mami side. Just give us a feedback on how the thing had a toll on. So yesterday. Yeah, you're saying, you're making a point.
No, I'm wondering, whether or not, what kind of precautions are taken.
So that was why it was very important that we had interaction with the EPA, because they will have assessment of the area and the distance and all that.
Yes.
But clearly, where the thing took place, for me, it's a concerning situation because of how the flames and the kind of smoke that was being unleashed into the atmosphere and all that. So it was something that if you see the comments coming, a lot of issues were raised about the effect it will have. And the people were saying, why should we have such money? It's a huge sums of money that we are destroying. So but of course,
how is it money?
You sell it.
Sell it to who?
You sell it to
for what purpose?
People who have been given license to trade or to engage in illegal activities and all.
No one has license
the law that was recently passed.
That's
and
for
all
hemp.
that. Absolutely.
That's
so
for hemp.
yes, you can make references to them. But
That's
one of the things,
industrial hemp is different from the
I
weed
agree
that
with
people
you.
smoke.
But one of the things that
one
of the things that even came to the fore was that if you look at the efficacy, the nutrient, the strength of what were being burnt there, they are too powerful than what is even required. So that's what one of the officers were telling me.
I see.
And that was the reason the court made the order that they be destroyed.
Because they are potent.
Their potency level. Maybe no, but then some of them, in fact, so that they also have to make sure that the orders of the court is complied. So yesterday, even at the time that the whole thing was burned, they have to stay there and make sure that the last of it.
So that
burnt.
Nobody comes and comes.
Yes,
and
because there are people who can just go there in the night. But what is clear is that place is no an easy place to go now.
It's a security zone.
Yeah, it's a security zone. Even when we had the opportunity, we have to go there. The officers have to show a lot of proof before the gate is open for us to enter and eventually have that thing. But I was there, and I have come through with the report that summarizes what happened. And we will also be hearing from the registrar of the circuit courts,
right,
who supervised this whole exercise, Mr. Kingsley, Prosper Kingsley Damanka. So let's have a feel of this report yesterday.
All right.
Star 103.5 FM. Simply the best.
The orders of the court differently constituted. Over 200 packs of over 200 sacks of marijuana are being burnt here based on the orders of the court differently constituted. And as you can see, fire has been set into these substances. In fact, there are few of them being cocaine, but majority of these substances happen to be marijuana. And clearly here, as you can see, this is the action that you can see live here behind me. What is happening clearly symbolizes the orders of the court, and it's being taken in accordance with statute. You have the registrars of the court, you have police officers here, EP officials have all gathered here to supervise this very action. So clearly, that is what is happening right now just behind the Independence Square at the beach, just around the Osu Castle. And what is clear is that these substances, the persons who were arrested and arraigned in relation to these substances, some of them have been convicted and sentenced. Some of them, the police also could not prove the charge or the offenses as charged, and some of them have been freed. But what is clear is that the court seized those substances because they were illegally procured. And my understanding is that if you look at the efficacy, the neutrality or the strength of it is higher than what is required. Somebody will ask that why is it not given to persons who have been given license to operate or to trade in marijuana activities. But the point is that we are being told that if you look at the strength of it, it is higher than what is required. All these cumulated into the court order for these substances said to be marijuana to be destroyed. And clearly the evidence is showing that today the exercise has been carried on, being supervised by court officials. I've seen the registrar here at the beach. I've also seen officers from the police, CID personnel have all gathered here. And in fact, persons from the EPA made an appearance here to supervise this very exercise. So clearly, that particular orders from the court, the circuit court, in fact, have been carried out. And let me give you some perspective. In relation to what has been happening here, these are substances that have been retrieved from suspects, from accused persons who have been sentenced. Some who have been convicted and sentenced between 2020 and 2024. So within a 4-year period, this is the outcome of what has been gathered so far that has been subjected to a court order, and the order is that all these substances should be destroyed. And so that is the evidence of the action being taken to destroy these substances. Over 240 sacks of marijuana, 240 sacks of marijuana have been subjected or are being destroyed here, including various wraps, including some cocaine of a sort, and some liquid substances have all been subjected to this destruction. So that is currently what is happening here at the shores of the Independence Square. Just behind the Independence Square, that is where we have this very activity taking place. And all personnel, all officials who are supposed to supervise this very exercise are currently here, ensuring that the right thing is done, the court order is complied with, and nothing but only what the court has ordered for is done. The registrar of the Circuit Court Accra, who is supervising this very exercise, Mr. Prosper Kingsley Damanka, has been giving us some perspectives about this whole exercise.
We are here to destroy some substances, cocaine, dry leaves, that's cannabis. After those cases have been dealt with by the court, judgment has been delivered. Orders were made for their destruction. That is why we are here.
The substances being destroyed today, somebody will say that, can we give it to company or institution that have been given license to trade in cannabis to use them?
As for that one, I don't have that power to say anything concerning that. The people were arrested by the police and then charged and brought to court. And judgment has been delivered in the cases. That is why we are here for their destruction.
So with the efficacy of what is being destroyed here, the chances are that you can easily go high if you get in contact with these flames. You want to go high, then you know what to do. If you do not want to go high, you know what to do. From the Independence Avenue here in Accra, with Murtala Inusa, GH1.
Extraordinary radio for discerning listeners.
Did you want to go high?
So I was inviting people like Emmanuel Wipo, Musa Lansa, Lantan Papanko.
I've invited Kojo
All
Mensah,
of you should.
Joshua Kojo Mensah.
Kojo Mensah, yes. Prince Asian, Edem Kojo, Selassie,
And
all
Eugene,
of them.
Eugene.
Yes, I forgot Eugene. I forgot about Eugene yesterday. In fact, it was Banini.
And Banini, yes, all of
These
them.
are guys that were supposed to have been at the site yesterday.
All right.
So that's what happened yesterday in relation to that. So
Okay.
the orders of the court have been carried out, and that is it in relation to all of the things that took place in court yesterday.
All right. Thank you very much, Murtala Inusa, as always, bringing us all the details and the latest from the courts. That will do it for court today.